On today's episode 20 of Sculpt and Create, we're tapping into the mindset behind pressure, purpose, and the humble to evolve. I'm sitting down with CYD Tone, artist, entrepreneur, creator, and the energy behind Pressure Make Diamond, a project inspired by real life, real struggle, and real growth. Tone ain't just making music, he's building movement. His sound carries the heartbeat of every dream chaser still grinding through their reality, still betting on themselves, and still choosing to rise. From the basketball courts of Charlotte to the studio booth, Tone's journey is a story of discipline, recalibration, and finding one lane when life pushes you into a new one. We talk about visualization, tunnel vision, trusting your voice, the moments that shook him, the moments that shaped him, and the mindset that keeps him moving toward the next evolution of who he's becoming. If you're an artist, entertainer, athlete, or creator, trying to stay locked in while life throws real pressure your way, this episode is going to meet you where you are. Let's get into it. Welcome to Sculpt and Create, where fitness fuels creativity and helping artists, entertainers, and creatives toward their journey in their physical, personal, and career growth. I'm your host, Trader Fit Artist, and who I have with me today is CYD Tone. Welcome to the show, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me on, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Blessed,
Definitely, man. Glad you can make it on as well. So before we get into it, man, let everybody know, shout out your links and where everybody can find your music and so forth.
Yeah, man. CYD Tone, man, independent artist from Charlotte, North Carolina. I got my website, www.imcydtone.com. That's got everything that you need, merch, music, all that stuff. But if you use streaming platforms, all streaming platforms, CYD Tone, the new album available right now, Pressure Makes Diamonds. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's _TONE_CYD, man. Check me out. Follow them back, showing love to everybody that shows me love.
Man, without a doubt, man, y'all check my man out. All right, so man, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about it. So tell us, we already know you make music, so let's start with that right there, and then we'll kind of backtrack and go all over the place after that. So man, tell about the music. So for how long have you been doing music for, and what type of music do you make?
Okay, yeah. I started making music around 2016. Before I started making music, I was a Division I basketball player, and originally it started out just as some fun type stuff. I just wanted to kind of do it for myself, and then around 2016, I really started to take it serious when a couple of my friends around me and everything was kind of telling me like, "Yo, the music sound good. You kind of got something." So, after I made a tough decision, I was kind of in this transition period of, falling out of love with basketball and kind of finding my new passion. And I was able to, find music, and it allowed me to, step forward and have creativity. So I've been doing that for the last 8-9 years. I just dropped my fifth project called Pressure Makes Diamonds. Some of my best work to date. I'm really excited about the journey. It's been a crazy journey so far, but, it's just getting started, really.
Okay, cool. And man, definitely, man, I listened to a few tracks, and so I was almost to the end before this call and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, man, I see what you got going on, and definitely like what I was hearing and so forth. We'll get into that though.
Yes, sir.
And now, would you said Division I basketball? So, like, what position did you play?
I was a point guard. Out from Charlotte, North Carolina. Hoop State.
Okay.
Played point guard. I went to college at Charleston. I was a 4-year starter there, and then I was overseas for a year.
Okay, cool. Man, it's something, man, with them parallels between basketball and when we talking about hip hop or just making music. The rappers want to be ballers, and the ballers want to be the rappers and stuff. Stuff like, so it's crazy. And I kind of got a similar history to that. I mean, I'm starting to make my music now and so forth, but that's what I want to do. Those 3 dreams one of the 3 dreams I had, I wanted to act, I wanted to play basketball, and make music.
Yeah.
So you see what I'm saying? So
it's that creativity of, being caught up in the game, having instincts, letting it flow with you, performing, or showing your hard work and showcasing that hard work in front of a audience of people, and just, letting yourself get lost in the moment. Same thing is in basketball, same thing in music. From the time you do a show or you doing your studio thing, you kind of just showing creativity, getting lost in that moment, and then, trying to take your hard work and showcase it to the world.
Right. And what a lot of folks don't realize when it comes with sports and making music or in anything that you do in life, like for is like doing your own business and so forth, the sports can help with that dedication and discipline, and on that, and even more so when you being on a competitive stage or whatever.
Yes,
definitely, hip hop is very competitive, and so forth. So it definitely helps out. So all those elements is there. So I guess that's the reason why the chemistry is there
It's so
for.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely. So let's say like what type of music do would you say you make, and what's your style like?
I think I make, like motivational soul music. I try to classify my music as like soul food. You know what I'm saying? Not really like just the fast food chasing any little trend of the hit or anything like that. I kind of try to carve out my own sound, and I'm trying to cultivate my own community. So whenever you listen to my music, you can kind of get life lessons, the things that I've learned on my journey, motivational quotes, you know what I'm saying? Things that you're building for, like just like my album, Pressure Makes Diamonds. It's just talking about going through that, just that refining period of, wanting more, having to go through the ups and the downs to get that journey. And then you come out with your mindset or your diamond or whatever that is. And that's part of the vision that's going to help you, reach the levels that you want to reach.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk more about it then
Hmm.
to kind of piggyback off like what your style is and so forth.
Yes, sir.
Now, with Pressure Make Diamonds. So, like I said, I listened to a few songs. I definitely like Lord Knows,
Hmm.
Bundle.
Okay.
Bundle, I kind of heard myself in it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I ain't from the streets or anything, but I kind of heard myself like, oh, that's something like I can see myself getting on, and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
I like the Nipsey Speaks interlude, especially what he was saying at the end.
Hmm.
But let's talk about Pressure Make Diamond. Like, what inspired you to make this album?
Really, just like I said, just my own journey. So I started out, I got my own label. It's called Tunnel Vision Entertainment. I really just been kind of locked in on just, telling my journey. Every kind of chapter in my life that I go through, it kind of ends up in the album. And Pressure Makes Diamonds was the latest one for me. And I think that was me just elevating as a person. You know what I'm saying? Just really kind of being confident and knowing all the work that I put in and the hours and everything. And now finally feeling like, hey, I'm at a level where I'm ready to showcase to the world at the highest stage. You know what I mean? So from the time I started doing music, I felt like I had to get my sound, get my confidence, get my voice. And now it's like all aligning in one. And I think I was able to execute that on Pressure Makes Diamonds. I was able to talk about like, let me paint just like the vision of where I want to go to in my life and how I want to get there. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like a Nipsey Speaks interlude, just like
Hmm.
what he was saying, how it applied to me and how it affected my life. I tried to bring that out and put that into words of my own and, let the listener or whoever's listening to it take their own thing from it, get motivated. And then now they're going to go do their thing, find their diamond or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like you said, you've been doing it about 9 years now. So since
Yeah.
2016, close to 10 years. Definitely, I can see what you're saying. You're basically coming up to this album. I haven't listened to the other albums, but all of what you've been doing, the grinding and the cultivating your skills and so forth,
Hmm.
and the struggles and issues that you were probably going through, definitely get you to this point where you
Hmm.
kind of like in your, I ain't gonna say sophomore, you're probably in your senior of it because you've been doing. You how many albums you have done?
So this was like my fifth project, fourth
Fifth project, yeah.
album. Yeah, you know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying? So I did like a couple little EPs and stuff like that too.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, like you said, just like the senior season, you feel
Hmm.
confident. You done been
Right.
putting in all that work and now you're ready to go,
Hmm.
attack that senior season. And that's real
Yeah,
like the start of your journey to go to the next level. Your senior season is going to take you into that college years, into your pros and everything like that. So
yeah,
just kind of
definitely.
that moment where you're ready to take that next step. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think too, man, when people like when they put their first album out or whatever they particularly do, especially when I think about my son, they think they automatically have to be good to start something, or
Yeah.
they don't want to take no action. So with you telling that grind that you don't went through from start to now, definitely speaks to that and so forth. And then I can assume definitely you have been, like I said, getting better and better each
Hmm.
time, and you can see yourself and put even more heart into it because you everything that you don't did up until this point with the music you making definitely goes into a Pressure Make Diamonds, right?
Absolutely. And it's like now I can really start to see it's paying off. You know what I mean? Like before you might have your little, you have your supporters of your friends or,
Hmm.
family, close members to support and whatever, but kind of people are just kind of just going along with the dream, but they just kind of seeing if you're going to stick with it and everything like that. And then as it goes, you get better, you start to believe in yourself more and everything. And now it aligns to where other people are kind of seeing the vision of what I had going on to the point where now Pressure Makes Diamonds is one of my most it is my most streamed project, going over 100,000 streams across all platforms, getting some some love, people copping the CDs and things like that to just show support. And it's like I said, everything's kind of starting to line now. So like you said, it's just all that work you've been putting in. You kind of start to see a
Hmm.
little bit of the residual starting to come back, and that's always a
Right.
good thing.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I get from it, you know what I'm saying? It got the street elements, gritty elements to it and so forth, but it's one of those albums. How old are you, by the way? I didn't even ask you.
I just turned 32.
Okay, yeah, I'm 39. Yeah, so we kind of in that we in that
Yeah,
same area and so forth, where you listen to like basically like I like Jeezy, I like T.I. and so forth and everything. They make albums is for the street, but at the same time it's definitely motivational where it fits so many different elements of life
yeah.
outside of the street game. So that's what I was definitely hearing in the songs that I was hearing, especially like I said with Speaks Interlude, when he said at the end, when Nipsey said Nipsey Speaks Interlude, my bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he said action and mentality, your action and mentality is a success, but your reality of the situation isn't. So
Hmm.
like I like what was your approach to that when you put that in? Like what were you thinking on that?
So like that's any, hustler's mindset, or anything that if you've been, trying to be an entrepreneur, whether working for yourself or, doing your own music or whatever the case may be, you got to have that vision in your mind. And even though the reality that you see in front of you right now might not be where you want to be at in your, in your goals or whatnot, you got to still trust and have faith that you're going to put the work in action and take the steps to get there. And that's just, I feel like not only as an artist, somebody is building their career, anybody who is living life, like you said, but once you come of so many years in age, you start to kind of want to have things for yourself. You want to have your own house, car, whatever it takes. And you might not have that reality, in front of you right there, that present moment, but you got something to work towards. You know what I mean? You got a goal and you got to have something like that. So when your mentality is greatness, but your reality is might not seem that way, you got to still have faith that you're going to get there eventually by just putting in the work. And that's what Pressure Makes Diamonds is, a motivational like tool for that. People that's chasing that dream. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the feel I was getting. Like I said, I stopped at clarity. Clarity was
Okay.
another. I didn't get to finish it. Was starting it and everything. So, but I definitely was getting it. And I like the play on the words because that's what diamonds are. You want to see the clarity in it and
Clarity.
so forth. So, but yeah, definitely. Now it definitely has those elements, like I said again, spreading out between not just street life, but
Uh-huh.
or just the grind of trying to
Uh-huh.
hustle and get it. But it also spreads out to like the entrepreneurial life or just really going for your goals and dreams. But
Uh-huh.
the pressure, the conflict, and the grind, and all this stuff like that, or what it takes to get it, is definitely there. And I think that's what people tend to like run from. They when it gets hard, like I
Uh-huh.
said initially, they think that like I said, they think it should be easy or they should already have the skill set. So can you talk to them like when you got up to this point and so forth with that grind, like stating that is not hard, but it's definitely hard. My bad, but when you put in the work and so forth, that you
You
definitely
get that
you definitely
payback.
come. Yeah, you get that big payback at the end.
No, for sure. I think, like you said, at that point, this is where basketball really helped me at. You know what I mean? It's
Mm-hmm.
not like a overnight thing. I think a lot of people with social media, the cell phones and things like that, we've gotten spoiled to like overnight success or things happening so quickly or the viral moments or whatnot, and we don't really understand what it takes to cultivate something of great success and to be able to sustain it. You know what I mean? Like a basketball player is not going to turn into Steph Curry in one night. That
Mm-hmm.
takes years and years and years and years of shooting. You know what I mean? To even get the confidence to be able to take the shots. You're not just going to go out there and pull up from half court and think that your coach is going to be okay with it without showcasing that you've done it and proved. So that's just the kind of mentality that I kind of move with, and I don't know if that started with basketball or if I always had it, but just planting that seed and watering that plant until it can bloom into something fruitful, and not just getting discouraged after seeing nothing happen for a year or two. You know what I mean? Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it's a competitive nature. It's a competitive space. It's a
Mm-hmm.
million people trying to be rappers. It's a million people trying to be basketball players. It's going to be a million people trying to do whatever you do. You got to want to be the best at it that's going to be able to help catapult you to success. You know what I mean? Like in those days where it seems tough to go to the studio or tough to go to the gym or whatever, depending on how much you love it and how bad you want it and be successful, is the pressure that you put on yourself is what you're willing to deal with. And that's how I kind of looked at it when I was making this album. That's kind of the mindset that I was in myself. Like I know what dreams I have. I know what kind of goals and artists that I want to be. So, wait for somebody to come and do that, or why wait till it's super perfect? Why not just move in that energy right now and learn from what I need to learn from and then get better the next time? You know what I'm saying? It's always about getting better and trying to be the best version of myself. That's how I approach it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like we can talk about some of the songs in here and so forth. So Lord knows. So
Mhm.
I'm come from a church background and so forth, and I understand that sentiment just saying Lord knows.
Yep.
Where you know, if folks really didn't realize, if folks really knew what it took for you to get to this point, they probably, you know what I'm saying, they probably want to look at you different, like you were saying, with the naysayers and so forth, and people look, thinking you crazy because you starting this. Oh man, music don't make no money. You got to be real big, this and that, and it's hard. Ain't nobody paying for music, stuff like that. You don't heard all that, so forth.
Uh-huh.
So and only Lord knows, like, the things that it took you to get here, and now people starting to see your vision and seeing that diamond come to a head, in a sense, and so forth. So can you speak to that?
Absolutely. And like you said, I'm big on, like, faith. You know what I mean? My
Mm-hmm.
mom come from like a church background. Not to say that I was in church so much, but
Mm-hmm.
I just believe in a higher power than, you know what I'm saying, than myself. And, just being an athlete, just seeing, looking back in my life, just seeing all the times where God was in my life, where it was unexplainable. Something happened. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So like I said, like I read a meme on the internet one time. It was like, God gave you that dream for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Even though you might not know how you're going to get there, he showed you the end goal. You know what I'm saying? It's not your job to know the how or the why or the when or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? That's where you got to have faith and you got to trust. And, I just, was putting in that mindset of just like, Lord knows all the, things that I want in my heart, and pressure makes diamonds, and I'm ready to go get it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I open it up with, you know what I'm saying? My favorite sound is the money counter beeping. Lord knows I'm a hustler. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
All these
right.
women scheming. Lord knows that I don't trust them. I have my own trust issues. You know what I'm saying? But that's just things that I'm becoming aware of myself. But of course, the big man above already knows it, and everything plays out for a reason. So that's just kind of the mindset I was in.
Yeah, definitely, man. I like how you put that too as well. So, and let's speak to the clarity part of it. So, when you,
Hmm.
what made you like jump out there? You, like you said, you didn't know anything about, like, what you didn't really, like, you like say, you had the end goal, but you didn't really know how you was gonna get there and so forth.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's it. It's a good segue to clarity. So you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying.
nah,
So
for
talk
sure.
about that. Yeah.
And I talk about it's just that, like I said, I had a dream that my dream actually was like I was on tour rapping, and I was like, man, that seemed like so real that it was like it just gave me like a switch of heart. I told you I was in the process of falling out of love with basketball, and then when that happened, so I just kind of like took a leap of faith in that aspect of why I knew that I love making music. I knew what I like rapping and everything like that. I just had to take it serious. And I reached a level in basketball where I know that if I want to do something, I believe in myself that I can achieve it. You know what I mean? So I just took that leap of faith and started walking, and then the journey gets clearer as you continue to take steps. That's where that faith come in, and that's where speaking to it, the clarity, and just the way that I put it, I put it right after that Nipsey interlude, because the way that I sequenced the album, it's like, me talking at first, my ego or what I feel like the dream should look like and everything,
Mm-hmm.
going into Dream Chasers, where it's like, I'm doing all the things I can do and, I'm dream chasing. But then it's like Nipsey tells you, like, boom, you
Yeah.
want to have success, but your reality is something different. And then you get the
Yeah.
clarity. And that's where I kind of talk about just really, learning more about myself, falling in line with myself, and then, being able to take the right necessary steps to become the best version of myself. So
Okay. I got you. I like that. So now, all that goes through your head and so forth. But like, when the people tell you, when they were telling you, oh man, you should do this, man, you sound good and so forth. I don't have certain similar instances where that happened to me when I went on the trajectory of being a fitness coach and all that stuff like
mhm.
that. But now, but you don't really see it sometimes until somebody else see it, and then you look at it and going forward. So what really made you, like, other than people saying you should do this? What made you hit the button and say, "Let me go and start this journey and press record," so to speak?
Actually, I had went to New York and did this like showcase, or like one of the little talent shows or something like that. Like I signed up for one, and I went all the way to New York to do it. And it was like some radio hosts, some producers, and like some industry people that were supposed to be there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I actually went up there and I won first place, and I got
Okay.
to speak with Amadeus, who was a producer. He produced for Chris Brown. He produced for
Okay.
Jada Kiss, a bunch of people that was like, you know what I'm saying, he Grammy nominated. And he really told me, he said, man, you know, you super raw right now, but you really got something. Like if you continue at it, you got something that's going to be able to, you know, be worldwide type global like your sound. And I was like, okay, that's somebody who's been in the industry for 10, 15 plus years
Definitely.
telling me something that it's my first year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't see it, that just boosted my confidence sky high. You know what I mean?
bet.
So it was like anybody else could say, man, I don't like it. And I'm saying, well, shoot, somebody that's in the industry said that it was good. So it don't even matter what you like. It was like I kind of got that boost of confidence to where, all right, maybe this is the right thing. Maybe I did take the right decision. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I always got a funny way of showing you something like that, and sending the message through somebody else. So that's what I believe.
Okay, yeah, and that definitely will put a battery in your back. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that somebody that in the industry have been in there years, and they telling you, man, you got something and so forth. So that definitely something I would say would get you going and seeing it through. Okay, I like that. So now you mentioned about you falling out of love with basketball. That's something unique or interesting I want to talk about because most of the times I think about Tobin. I'm trying not to butcher his last name. Tobin the Wigway. You heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, Try Jesus dude. Yeah, and everything. He now he fell in kind of similar to you. He kind of fell into rapping because he was already doing it in the locker rooms and stuff like that when you're playing football and so forth. But it wasn't something he was thinking about until after he had the injury and he couldn't play football no more. And he took and like we were talking about earlier, he took the discipline that he had with football and brought it into the music game and so forth with his Twisted Sundays or something like that or whatever and everything. But your from your life and everything you said you was falling out of love with. Most people when they you hear about the people who play ball, especially they've been doing it all for since they was little and so forth, and then they get where the dream is not there no more. They hurt themselves or they don't get into the league and so forth. So they always think about a life. You know, they kind of get in a depressive state because they never thought anything outside basketball. But you, I want to talk about two things. But you said you were falling out of love for it. So what would you say on that point? And then also too, would you falling out of love? Why was that?
Well, I'll do the falling out of why I fell out of love part. I was like, you know, a lot of people kind of, you know, get to a point where like the sport, then either, like you said, they get injured or something takes away their, you know, their love a little bit quicker. Mine was a different situation. I was still very good at basketball. Like I said, I had contracts to go play overseas still, but mine was the fun part and the love part. I had 4 coaches in 4 years while I was in college, which is a weird thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like you kind of have to prove your value to every coach over and over again, right? And one thing about music is I'm in control of my value or I'm in control of the work that I do. I don't have to have a coach over my head to say, well, you know, I like you playing the point guard, but let's do it this way instead, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm in control of my creative aspect, or for right now, while I'm independent at least, and I want to kind of maintain that independence or that control. Okay. It was just like you said, just knowing that I could do whatever I put my mind to, loving it to the point where I'll wake up at 3:00 in the morning to go to the gym if I had to, or you know what I'm saying. I'll stay up till 4 to go to the studio. I wasn't doing that in basketball no more, but I do that in music. I stay up all day working on music, writing music to the point where I couldn't even remember how long I had been working on music. That used to be me in the gym. I'd go to the gym all day, shoot. It didn't even matter. And I still love to want to do it. That's how I measure what I love to do, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I do it for free, if you don't have to tell me to go to practice and I still want to go to practice, that's how I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And that kind of started to fade with basketball, with having to prove myself over and over again. Like, I'm the starting point guard. Last year, I was a starting point guard the year before. Why gotta prove that I'm gonna be the starting point guard when You know what I mean? Like
Right,
I'm
right.
on
Yeah.
scholarship. It's not no the game like that. I don't know how to explain it, but like, yeah, it just kind of clicked like that to where I knew that I was still good or I still had potential in something, but it just wasn't fun for me no more. So like, I'd rather just go play basketball on my own will than say, hey, I got to go do two-a-days right now, because it was actually the moment in time I was running on the track and we had to do 400s to like preseason. And I said, this is the first time I was like, why do I even, why am I out here in 107 degrees running on the track? You know what I'm saying? Like that. It was the first time. And I said, oh, yeah, it's
Right.
about that time where it's like, my time is dwindling down now.
Okay. I get you, man. Yeah, you definitely got to be. And another thing you were saying, you definitely got to be passionate about it. I tell my son that all the time. He 18 now. Like he in school and so forth, and I tell him that all the time, man. Don't just pick nothing just because you think you need it. You got to do it. You
Yeah,
say, yeah, you see something, you see yourself in it 5, 10 years from now. Like, when if the money ain't there, or you really love doing this past the money, that's what you
exactly.
should be doing that. And also too, what you were saying too, I could think a lot of parallels of what you were saying for as you falling out of love with it. 2 Chainz said the same thing when he was playing basketball and so forth. I don't know if you knew that or
I didn't know
whatever.
that.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. He was saying something similar about that, where the coaches were having their favorites and stuff like that and everything. He was kind of, and that was kind of messing his chances up and everything. And then too, he had caught a charge and all that stuff like that, so that messed it up and everything. But so he just went on and kind of
Oh,
like fell
dang.
off of it. Huh?
That's very kind of similar. Not that I didn't catch no charge or nothing, but
Mm-hmm.
my coach had like I was a starting point guard, but me and
Mm-hmm.
my coach didn't even get along. You know what I'm saying? To the point
Yep.
where the friction was there. To it was like,
Mm-hmm.
bruh, I don't even like. I'm out here doing this job for
Yeah.
what? You know what I mean? It was for to benefit him.
Yeah.
He only seen College of Charleston as a leapfrog to get to the next biggest school, right? So
Right.
if you
Right.
coming from another school, so everything was on his term, and he didn't even care about the best. Trying to make us the best players, if that makes sense. We
Yeah.
needed to
Yeah.
win games for him. And if I want to go to the NBA, why do I have somebody that don't got my best interest above me? You see what I'm saying? It wasn't making sense. So it's like, if I want to go be the biggest artist, or I want to, or something like that, I don't have nobody saying, hey, you need to make the song like that. I can determine that. And then I
Right.
can
Right.
partner with the next company or whatever to do, whatever the case may be. So I
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
look at myself and say, I can look in the mirror and say, hey, you didn't go to the studio today, or you haven't put in no work. You haven't done nothing.
Yeah.
And I can really hold myself accountable to be better. I don't have to, do everything I need to do and then still have somebody over the ceiling and say, all right,
Mm-hmm.
well, you're only 6'1".
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like 6'5" point guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you. And he did say there's a lot of politics and so forth. And
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, too many
My
politics.
Yeah, my cousin too. He coaches now. He in Texas and so forth. Man, he had all these accolades and so forth. Where he had these in high school, he had all the trophies from his dresser all the way down to the floor, man. And
Yeah,
everything. So,
yeah.
but he was real good. He played overseas and all that stuff like that. He was getting looked at NBA scouts, but he just didn't make it out. Some I heard about his agent or something that he didn't really. And then it's also who you know too as well.
Yep.
But
My agent was stealing.
yeah, say maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. And
That's what happened to me. So like,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you never know. Like you said, there's so many politics, there's so many moving parts to do that. It's about who you know, who's your
Mm-hmm.
coach know. Do you know somebody in the front office? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy game because it's only a limited amount of spots.
Right.
400 spots open in the NBA, and
Yeah,
you got
definitely.
reoccurring players that's staying every year. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So it's like technically only about 75 spots
right,
available each year.
right.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? You know,
yeah, definitely, man. I like you. You were pretty good. Anytime you get a classic, your college make names a classic after you. You were doing pretty good.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, and he was inducted into the Hall of Fame at that school at Tarleton State.
Yeah, he was one of the ones, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, just didn't make it, man. But definitely, and I like the part that you were saying about you have your own controls. So I thought how you do, and a lot of
Uh-huh.
people don't understand that when it comes to not with entrepreneurship as well. With whether I fail or succeed is on me. How much money I make is on me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
I don't need. And then it's similar to basketball and so forth as well. How I want to do this and how I want to move, especially on the in the independent grind of your music and so forth. You move how you want to move. You release how you want to release. Work with who you want to work with. So it does come a newfound freedom from that,
Freedom.
and everything like that
Exactly.
as well. So I definitely understand that grind wholeheartedly and so forth. Now
Yes, sir.
the other part of it, like I want you to speak to the maybe the athletes out there and so forth. What would you say to on that end from your experience, and also the part where the person was doing good, they was getting all the accolades, they was getting the
And then
looks
now
and so
they
forth,
not.
and then not. Now they kind of depressed and wondering what their next move is. What would you say to them?
So one thing that my high school coach told me, I think that stuck with it. My mom
Mm,
reiterated the fact too is don't let the sport define you. You know what I mean? To the point where, you know, like you said, once they're not cheering for you no more, or once that ball stop bouncing, or once the football is not in you can't do it no more. It can't be your only makeup. It can't be your only identity. That's why you should be wanting to try to be like they say, you should want to be a well-rounded person. You should know yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like know yourself into the things that you like to do outside or things like that. So where you can, be grateful for the opportunity because sports don't last forever. Even the people that's in the NFL and the NBA, they understand that their career is not going to last forever. They're super blessed to be able to do what they do. And so they want to try to be well-rounded. You want to try to learn about money. You want to try to learn about things like that. And then, like I said, I believe in a higher power. So I'm able to, have some faith to fall back on, to each his own for everybody else, but just find some way to release for some mental health. You know what I mean? Like, to find something that you love to do besides the sport, and then you can just take some stress off. For me, that was music, and I was able to transfer into something that I could still, be competitive in. But some people, uh, do design and clothes. It's something to be able to, like you said, get that creativity out and be able to find another avenue that don't define you straight off of, what you can do for others or what you can do for the team. You know what I mean? Something that you can do for yourself.
okay, definitely like that, man. Definitely, like you said, don't let it define you and everything. And that was good that you too had somebody in your circle to let you know
Say
that,
that. That yeah, for sure.
because that's what I hear. A lot of them don't really have nobody behind them. They just have a lot of yes men or somebody riding their coattail of their success and trying to leech off of it. But as soon as they go fall bottom, there nobody there to pick them up and so forth.
And even when you, like you said, even knowing that stuff, it's kind of tough because with me, it was like, all right, I went from basketball player to now I'm at the bottom of the barrel music
Yeah,
wise. So where it's like now people looking at you like,
to start. Yeah,
what you doing? Like music, huh? You was
right.
good at basketball. You was making money and doing stuff like that. Now you're doing that. And it was like, you got to know that your vision is always 10 steps ahead of what everybody else seeing anyways. You got to be locked into that, and then they're going to catch up eventually. Nobody can believe in whatever you got going on more than you. That's one thing I say too.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, man. Now, like we can get back into movie. That's like I said, we're gonna bounce all over the place,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying. But when I hear certain things, but so let's talk about your creative process. Like, how do you approach music when you're making it? Not just what your topics is about and so forth, but like what's your creative process like?
I consider myself more of a stream of consciousness type of rapper, to where I feel like my songs are like a conversation between me and the listener.
Hmm.
I can only make music if I'm super inspired or if I'm moved by like the beat or something like that or something going on in my life. Some people can make songs just about anything. The wall is white and then they can just start rhyming. Like one of my friends that I rap with, he's like that, right? He can just freestyle about anything. Me, I kind of, come up with the like idea direction that I want to go. And then it's just kind of what makes me feel like the beat, or I might have watched a movie or something and got inspired and then I can just flow. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like if the beat moves me, I might make the song in 10 minutes. But say if I'm trying to like come up with a concept or something like that, it might take me a couple days. But if I got where I want to go, like the end result, I can always figure out how to get there.
Okay,
So I usually come up with the title with a name first, and
okay.
then the words kind of just flow. I don't even know how to explain. Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. I understand. Like I said, I'm finna help you out and see how your process is. So you say you come up with the title first, right? All
Hmm.
right, and then maybe the beat, to go along with that title and
Yeah.
everything. do you like when you looking for a beat, in particular? I use BeatStars. So when you looking for a particular beat, do you like type that name? This is how I do it. Do you type that
Yeah, I
name
typed
in?
it.
The title you got in your head? Go ahead.
Nah, I don't type the title I got in my head. I got like I'd be like, man, Meek Mill might make a song that sound like this, or
Okay.
Drake might make a song like I do like that,
Okay,
like
type beat. Okay.
type beat, right? So then I'll just start searching through those type beats, and the one that kind of get the most, like in the same lane or vibe that I'm in, I'll try to go with that. But then sometimes I even end up writing to something and then find beats that fit it later on. You know what I mean? Or like my producer or somebody will send me a beat and I've been writing to a beat that is totally different, but then they send me a beat and it just flows perfectly on that. And then it's like that, that'll elevate it. That's always, enhance some of the songs that I've done too. But usually my process of, like I said, I find a title and then I'll be like, ooh, that sound like, in my head, that might sound like a G Herbo song or a Meek song or like, those are pretty much my three wheelhouses of like beats that I do because of just like the soulful samples and the drum patterns that they kind of rap over. And then if something else fall into my thing, I can kind of go. I've recently gotten good at like just freestyling too. As soon as I hear the beat and the beat comes on, I'll just say whatever is on my mind right there. And then if I like it, I can kind of build off of it. That's how I end up doing Bundle. Me and the dude that, me and all the guys at Bundle, that was a session that we had recorded. I think I recorded like 2 or 3 songs in that session and we had like 10 or 15 minutes at the end of the session. And we were just going through BeatStars and we ended up finding a beat. And then we freestyled that song in 10 minutes.
Okay. That was up, man. Like when I do it, I say, like if I got a list of titles that I got, like I say, okay, that might make a good song. So what I do on BeatStars, I say I type that in, and so I'm looking for if any of those beats, because that's what the producer thinking when they think about the beat. So maybe, you see what I'm saying. So maybe me, the producer is, or the beat maker is thinking about the same thing. So do I hear myself in that, and everything? So that kind of helped me out in that way.
Start doing that.
Yeah. So
typing the title into the thing too. Okay.
Yeah, because they're giving you titles, and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't gotta be exact with their title, you know what I'm saying? But long as it's close around it and so forth. So, and that helped me out. And then another thing, so when you do so when you're writing the song, are you hook first, verse first, or what? 'Cause I know they always say you gotta start with your hook. They're gonna help you out with your verses, but sometimes it don't work that way for me.
Nah, I'm about to say I let at that point I let the beat kind of dictate what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Like just how I'm feeling. Sometimes like recently I've been kind of doing the verse first and then I get the hook and then and if I got space at the beginning, I'll just throw the hook at the beginning of the whatchamacallit, and then it just flows good that way. But a lot of my songs start out with just me writing a rap and then it might turn into a hook. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, I can turn this into a hook if I say it like this or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Like, Lord knows if you see the verse started and then the hook is at the end. You know what I'm saying? It's all the way at the end on Lord knows.
Yeah.
But then Let Me Paint, I started the hook as part of the verse and then just broke off and it just like, oh yeah, that goes good for a hook.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah.
I have heard them talk about like that. If you listen to certain people, I can't think of anybody's song right now, but some of they'll take part of their verse and make that the hook.
Future does that. I heard him and Metro Boomin talking about that. Him and Metro Boomin, and then Lil Baby talking about how sometimes they just rap, and then the engineer will be like, "Hey, yo, you should bring that part back," and then that end up being the hook. You know what I mean? Like after they rap, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, bring that part back." It'll kind of go with this thing like that. So learning song structure too is kind of important and cool because you can be able to finesse your lyrics and things like that too. Because like if you got like a little melody or stretch, you can turn that into a hook. Just simple little bridge.
Right. Before, like I said, my first little rap I wrote was like when I was 16, but it wasn't to no beat. It was just, just writing because I was good poetically. I can write poems and stuff like that. So I was already that. But later on, when I said, I'm finna go on here and do this, I realized that they was counting the bars in the song, stuff like that. That took my writing to a whole new level because I was just writing in poetic form.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And it changed and then I look at the old stuff that I had written in that poetic style. it's hard to me piece together. I had to rewrite that stuff now, you know, and
Yeah,
stuff like that or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But it's just crazy what you just said, because when I learned that the song structure, how that go, how to count bars and stuff like that in the thing and so forth, it makes it different and make it fit in a whole different way than what I was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was something I didn't even. I would, like you said, when you get started, when you first get started, you just
Yeah.
thinking bars. You just thinking
Right.
right. And so
Rhyming. Yeah.
you just right. And so I didn't even pick on that. Like the structure of my songs, they changed so dramatically over the years. Like my first stuff would just be like 40 bars straight in a row. You know what I'm saying? No hook, no nothing, just straight 40 bars, just spitting around. But then, you know, you learn how to make a song and just make it more digestible for the listener and things like that. So I think
Yeah.
that's the part, that's the cool part. That's like practice to me. You know what I'm saying? That's like going into, you know what I mean? Like you sharpening up your skills when you do stuff like that. Just even caring about that stuff is more than a lot of people do anyway. You know what I mean? Like some people just don't care. They just think that you're supposed to show up, be doing whatever. Like, you know what I mean? You are at work still technically, you know what I mean?
I seen a clip where a guy said that. He said most of the artists don't do that. They don't. Look, you are at work. This just ain't no vibe. Cause they come, man. I got to feel the vibe and all this stuff. Like, man, this is work. You got to approach it like work.
The first time that I went into a studio, like a real studio, the engineer actually said that, like, yo, I like the way that you work because you came here with 3 songs already written and then we just got to work. You wasn't like, cause he was like, yo, some people get here, book the block session for 4 hours and just be doing nothing and might just say 1 or 2 words through the whole time. But he was like, most people at the next level, like all the artists that he's worked with that was in the industry, they was coming to work. You know what I mean? They had ideas or concepts that they was trying to lay down, and they wasn't just, oh, we're gonna have a party, we're gonna bring a bunch of people here, and then we just don't like that. That's just like play. You know what I mean? That's like pickup. You know what I mean? It's like you got to take it serious. It's a difference between somebody who plays basketball and a basketball player. It's a difference between somebody who does music and a musician.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, man. Dude, like I said, I haven't recorded anything yet, but I plan to get something out. But when I was looking at some studio, the guy was saying I was doing all this research. I'm still in the research and developing stage. I would say he was saying, he was like, man, he said, man, what you doing, man? He said, most of these people just come in, they ain't looking up, they know how to write. They're just going in there and stuff like that. He said, he said you'd be surprised, because he said he produced for some people in Atlanta and stuff like that. He said you should be surprised. I'm in Mississippi, by the way, Jackson, Mississippi. Yeah. So he been said, man, there's a lot of artists I don't heard in Jackson, Mississippi better than these people who are already mainstream. I don't see their processes and stuff like that. So I mean, that's crazy. And then like you said, you came to work, so that tell you like the difference between
mindset,
the mindset and everything like that, from a person who just maybe got talent, and then to a person who got the talent and the acumen, the business acumen, and the grind, fortitude to do it, and so forth. Would you say?
Sir. No, I was about to say, I was just saying, it's like, you know, you see that all the time. Like people who was super nice at sports and then didn't go to the league. It might have been, hey, they was nice in the neighborhood or whatever, but then they never had whatever to be able to play on the actual field. So like you said, you got to be able to have a little bit of both. And that's what the people who I look up to in the industry, you know, like the Jay-Z's, the Nas's, the, you know, J. Cole's, the Drake's, the Kendrick's, they're all blending the two. It's not just show up and just rap. You know what I mean? They all want to know what goes on to be a great artist, and that's what I'm trying to do myself.
Yeah, like how you brought it back to basketball, especially like you think of Michael Jordan come to mind, and how he was doing, and Kobe. You heard about how he in there before everybody last to leave and so forth. You know, and that tells you who you really wanted. I mean, and that kind of like let me think about. They were saying he don't pass and so forth. You know. He
said, I don't trust you. You don't be at the gym when I do it.
Oh yeah, somebody else said that. That's what I'm saying. They were like, okay, he was at the gym, so he knew you was at the club, or you came in late and so forth. He seen all that. So, and he in the gym, you wasn't in there with him. So why would he pass to you? Because he definitely, you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah. So I feel you on that, man. So when you made this album, let's talk about this, you know, the whole structure, layout, because I think that's important too. Instead of just putting music on the song, you know, that's more like in a mixtape style when you do it that way or whatever. So like, what was your approach? Like how you understand what it's about, the motivation, the struggle, pressure making diamond, you getting up to this point, you 5 albums in now and so forth. So you really in your bag, kind of speaking, so to speak, and so forth. So like, well, how do you structure this and coming together for this album and so forth?
Like the rollout process and everything like that. Like you talking about like just how I wanted to market, how I wanted to make sure I get
Let's
the
talk, well, let's talk about that. Yeah, the rollout and your approach to it, like the track list. Like how you put the album together
together.
from
The
top to bottom. 'Cause
Okay,
I
well,
think
yes.
uh,
I really had just an idea of it because I told myself, I said, making this new album, we're gonna treat this, we're gonna put all of it in like you was on a major label, right? So I was just I said I'm gonna treat my own self and my own process like if I was on Def Jam or whatever the thing is, right? It's
okay,
like
I like
how
that.
what would they do if they had the album and you was on the artist? What would they do? They would make you, you know what I'm saying? They would say, hey, what's the cover art gonna be? You know what I mean? So I thought I did a thing about artwork, approached it that way. I just approached it as if I was one of the biggest artists in the world already, even though I'm not. I just put it in my head. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So it's
I
like
got you.
planting the seed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what I just wanted to do. I wanted to plant the seed. So whenever the music did come out and the reception did get good, and I was able to get some hard copies. Hold on one second. Let me show you. But I wanted to take it back to. I
Oh
made the
yeah,
hard
I seen.
copy album.
Yeah, I
You know
was
what I
listening
mean?
on Apple Music. Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did the hard copies to where we
Okay.
got the CDs and everything like that. It's got the back cover or whatnot. But I wanted to treat it like it was a big blockbuster type release. And that's
Nah.
just kind of how I approached it. And then I wanted to kind of just do something like that to create a community. So, anybody that, from our age, you remember going to the store and buying a CD for the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time and putting it in
yeah,
your disc
yeah.
and listening to it over and over. And
Already.
just that feeling of what it was of flipping through the books and stuff like that. That's how I felt whenever I remember buying my first CD. So I wanted to give people that type of thing. So I just approached it in like if I was what I liked as a fan, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's exactly what I approached it like. What did I
Okay.
like as a fan
Yeah.
of all my favorite artists and how they did their rollouts? That's what I tried to do it as.
Okay, I got you. I like that, man. And then, like you said, you trying to a big rollout and so forth. What's his name? Biggie Smalls, who was saying, treat every album like it's your last. So you approaching it,
Absolutely.
yeah, you treating big like that, and I like that, and especially in the days of time, you going to that hard back, so you definitely know how we grew up and so forth. So yeah, so you
Yes,
guys
sir.
still got folks, won't appreciate that hard copy
Uh,
and so forth. I like that. Okay, cool. Now, what I didn't ask you, CYD Tone.
uh-huh.
What does CYD mean?
The CYD stands for Chase Your Dreams.
I like that. I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
Okay.
That was just like a little collective of my friends. When we was in
Mhm.
high school, it was all of us. We was, kind of doing our own thing. Like, I played basketball. A couple other homies, they played football. They was doing clothing designs type stuff. It was more so like like a little group, like ASAP. You ever heard of like ASAP? You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. It's just like ASAP stands for Always Strive and Prosper. This was CYD. It was like everybody that was doing something had a dream that they wanted to go chase, whether it was basketball, music, clothing, or whatever. And I just kind of, whenever I was saying, "Oh, I'm switching from basketball to music," I'm like, that just made sense. It just seemed like it was like too good. It was like, dang, our thing was already CYD, and my coaches and stuff used to call me Tone for short for Anthony is my name. So I just put it together, CYD Tone. It was more like an ASAP Rocky. I was thinking about people who had cool rap names, and ASAP Rocky always kind of stood out to me.
Okay.
So that
I
kind of
like
went over
yeah.
there.
He ain't making a lot of music,
I know.
I like ASAP Ferg too. You know what I'm
Yep,
saying?
yep,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
definitely like ASAP Ferg music. Now, definitely, man. So when you say when chasing your dreams and so forth, what would you say now? For on the chasing the dream, what would you tell people like when they chasing the dream, no matter what that is? What would you tell them like to go forward and what they need to do and so forth?
I would say, just like I said before, see that end goal, man. Visualize that end goal and have it super locked into your mind to where it gives you confidence. You can visualize it. You can see it with your eyes closed. It kind of make you smile. That's the type of, visualization you got to have. And then don't really worry about the how you going to get there, you know what I mean? Anything like that. Just take time each day and put energy towards it. And then that turns into momentum. And momentum, small wins stack up. And it's just called just building on that. Just build on that momentum. And once that momentum gets to going, it'll surprise you. Like things that are happening for me, like still constantly surprise me.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll wake up one night and then the album has shot up 1,500 streams overnight or something like that. You know what I mean? The things that it's small wins, but that's big to me. I get to
oh yeah,
celebrate it, and then I would say celebrate the small wins because that just builds confidence for your, as your journey goes along. If you're
okay,
chasing your dream, anything that's that's big for you. You could have had 10 followers 2 months ago, and now you got 50 followers.
yeah,
That's a 30 people growth.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Celebrate that. Be happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
what you are grateful for when it's nothing, you're gonna be able to be grateful for when it's a lot. So that's
Okay.
what I think.
I like that, man. And I wanted to kind of piggyback off that chase your dream and so forth. Now, another thing I was saying too when you was thinking about that album cover, Gucci Man had a similar album cover. I don't know what album that is, but he had a similar type of
Mhm.
thing. So that came to mind. And then with the name of the title being Pressure Make Diamond, that's basically like you saying you're going through the pressure, so you're going through the formation process and so forth. And another thing, would you say CYD with your partners and everything? Y'all ever thought about just making that like a particular organization? You know what I'm saying, or something like that?
Yeah, man. We thought about it, but we from where we from, so people is all over the place. Some people in
Uh,
jail right now, some people
okay,
still, you know
okay.
what I mean? So hopefully we all get back on the same page and we can get to rocking. But right now, trying to, take the flag and run with it and, represent for my people right now.
The reason why I asked that, man, because I remember Wallow was talking about that. He said, "Man, folks be thinking they got to be the front man all the time. They got to be the
Yeah,
star of the show." He said,
yeah.
"Man, you can get a couple of people, man. This dude do the marketing. This dude do the sales, the t-shirts and something like that
Oh,
and
yes.
everything." Yeah.
So with CYD, that's actually a different collective. But me, I started to do my own thing. I started
Okay.
Tunnel Vision Entertainment.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
my label, kind of like the brand that I'm kind of building right now. And I do have a team. We're all, kind of collective where we're delegating. I got some, producers, man, some people that's working
I
on
like
the
that.
tech guys. You know what I mean? We're all
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of, trying to grow the foundation because we all kind of got ideas and things that we want to do to branch out. So we all want to be our own, what I'm saying, collective of bosses and
Hmm.
entrepreneurs that are all doing the thing and be each other crutches. Kind of like Jay-Z on the Rockefeller type thing. You know what I'm saying? Somebody doing the clothes, somebody doing the branding, somebody doing the music, somebody doing
Yeah.
the acting. Because I heard you
Hmm.
say you wanted to
Act.
you liked acting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm really big on acting and trying to be
Okay.
in the production and things like that. So
Hmm.
I want to write screenplays and short films and acting that stuff as well too.
Okay.
Have my
Okay.
music be in the background of the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
kind of have a whole thing going on.
Okay. With a man, like I said, the more I get entrenched on the artistry side of things, man, we might need to hook up on some stuff,
Yeah,
and
no, for
everything
sure,
like
man.
that.
We
Yeah,
definitely gonna
definitely.
lock in.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and I got a cousin too. That cause like he was telling me I was the one that got him to start rapping. Like I said, we come from a Christian background and so forth. I don't know if you remember the Whining Bro, remember the Whining Sisters and the Whining and stuff like that. Now they kids, they had came out with
Music.
some album, yeah, and maybe it's they sons, nephews, and stuff like that or whatever. But they was rapping and so forth. And since I wouldn't really listen to hip hop and everything back then. That was my way of sneaking it in some kind of
Yeah.
way. And he heard it and that what took him off and everything. So he doing a little rapping and acting too as well. I'm trying to get in touch when he always so busy, got so much stuff going on and everything. But all right, so now with that said, now like I said, from you playing basketball and then into your music and so forth, taught you the discipline and everything to not only start but prolong in it and doing the work that it takes to get to it and so forth. So, let's talk about just the fitness side of something. Like, how do you stay sane through it all? How do you keep yourself up and everything to be able to create? Because your mind can definitely go if you on the
Definitely.
hustle and bustle of life and everything. Yeah.
For sure. That's a huge part of, I feel like, my creativity or me being able to be the artist that I want to be is to be clear minded and everything like that. And that starts with having a good, workout routine and just being able to have a place to go release stress and stuff like that. So I have a workout daily. I try to do a 3 mile walk after my workout just to clear my mind, things like that, where it's just more so for the mental health part. You just building yourself up. You got to put yourself through some pain a little bit every day. You can't just be comfortable waking up, just doing what you want to do all willy nilly. You got to put yourself through some type of uncomfortableness so you can, feel good about the day.
Yeah, definitely. I always tell people, man, I've been working out for, let's say, yeah, since 2000, yeah, almost 20 years, yeah, 20 years now, you know, and everything like that. And I always tell them, man, sometimes it ain't for the aesthetics, it ain't for to be healthy or strong, man. That mental and therapy,
Yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying? Alleviate that stress and so forth. So
Nah, for sure. It's nothing better than, like you said, just, working towards something, whether it's, hitting a new PR or seeing your
hmm
body change, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like physically feeling yourself getting stronger. But like you said, is putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, and have to move some heavy shit up out the way and then feeling accomplished.
yeah, and I mean, and not only that, like I said, and that's the reason why another reason for this show is so forth. It also enhances your creativity because a lot of times I come up with
Yeah.
lines and stuff like that when I'm on the treadmill, when I'm working out. I'm thinking because I'm not thinking about what's outside, you know, and
Yep.
everything. I'm thinking about what I'm doing in there. Then a little bit of like I just go into a whole new lane and then just stuff start coming to me. Man, and I done been a wrote ideas and wrote a couple lines and stuff like that. I don't made a little post where I done did a little faux bar thing and put it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
something I just thought in my head. Let me just get it out there. You know what I'm saying? So I have done stuff like that. So that's what I want people to understand as far as artists and entertainers, that when you definitely get into your grind for the fitness and stuff, it helps everything out a whole lot more better to be able to tackle the hard times making an album and the up and downs of it all, the scheduling conflicts and stuff like that as well.
Yep, getting it, like you said, even just getting your energy up to
Yeah,
where it's just, high levels all the time. You know what I mean? Like you said, I feel like just doing stuff like that, getting a good sweat in, help you clear your mind. You know what I'm saying? That's when your ideas can thought is not so foggy up there.
yeah, most definitely, man. So, is it anything that we don't talk about a lot of stuff and everything, some great stuff I think too as well. So, is there anything that you want to discuss that we haven't talked about here today?
No, we pretty much covered on everything. Be on the lookout though. I'm working on
Okay,
some new projects right now. 2026, man. We gonna turn it up a little bit.
okay,
I said 2025 we did execute on the vision and everything,
mm,
but now it's time to elevate and expand. 2026, I do have one of my other artists that I work close with, Dirty Jers. We're working on a collab project, and I
I
got my
seen him,
next,
seen you featuring on him on everything
yep, and I got my next album that I'm coming later on in the year too.
later on in 2026.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, well, man, since you brought it up, man, let's talk about what's coming other than you said that your new artist, Jers,
Yeah,
right?
Jers. Yep. So we working on the collab. It'll be his first official release. I want to get the people. You know what I'm saying? We kind of building that world. We building that community. So I want to introduce him to the people. We're
Mm,
gonna be working on some new merch drops. We're gonna be collabing and mixing the merch with the music. So we already had some T-shirts and everything like that, but we're gonna be expanding on that, building out the clothing brand, and then really, like I said, just taking the music to the next level. Don't really have a title yet for the joint project. For my solo project, it's going to be called Roses That Grew From Concrete. So just expanding next on the Pressure Makes Diamonds is now just that next level, Roses That Grew From Concrete. You know what I'm saying? We can bring something beautiful out of the dirtiest, ugliest situations and still make it beautiful. So that's where
okay.
we at now.
So would that be like a follow up to the Pressure Make Diamonds album?
Yeah, it's gonna be just that next chapter. You know what I'm saying? Just like after you, get that diamond, what's it look like? What's your mindset in there? So it's gonna be that next chapter for me. So just
Okay,
kind of letting it go in as we speak. I'm working on new music right now, so
okay,
cooking up.
okay. So I mean, do you already working on the music on it, or just really in the thought process or so
No,
forth?
I done wrote about 3 or 4 songs. This that I'm thinking that might make it. Some of them might make it. Some of them might not.
hmm
Some of them might go to the joint project. But I definitely for sure got the intro already.
Okay.
I for sure got the intro already.
Okay, man. Yeah. Let me know. I definitely want to check it out. Like I said, I'm gonna listen to the rest of the songs and and everything. But yeah, and check your other stuff out too as well.
For
But
sure, for sure.
definitely, like I said, I see the grind and everything. And from you saying, I haven't listened to the first album, but you saying coming from how you've been talking today and telling me everything, 5 albums, it can tell you win your from 2016 to now. Seem you definitely got some potential there and everything to make it big. And
Yes, sir.
definitely
Appreciate it.
definitely looking forward to seeing your grind and saying, "Man, look, I interviewed him." You know what I'm
Yeah, yes,
saying?
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. So I want shout me out, man. Don't forget
Oh,
about me.
for sure. Nah, I'm about to say, man, anytime you want to, get back on the shows, anytime we want to,
Yeah.
lock back in the next album, we got to do the same thing again, man. Next
Right.
album,
Right.
lock back in. For sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, definitely, man. Just let me know what's up,
For
and
sure.
we can go from there. All right, so man, before we get out of here, man, let everybody again know where they can find your music, find you, and maybe want to work with you because you say you got a ton of vision going on, and
Yes, sir.
and so maybe want to be a part of that.
Yes, sir, man. First and foremost, support all independent artists, man. Check out my website, www.imcydtone.com. You can get all the music there, merch, get the hard copies. But even if you don't, man, we got it for free on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, YouTube, any of that, CYD Tone. And follow me on social media, @_TONE_CYD, man. We showing love to everybody and following back. And again, man, I appreciate you for having me on today.
And without a doubt, man, I appreciate you for coming on, man. Like I said, looking for further collaboration network, man, going forward. Like I said, man, I definitely heard myself on Bump. I promise you,
Yeah.
maybe not the topic, you know what I'm saying, but I definitely heard myself on it. So I definitely once I start getting some stuff out there, I will definitely want to hear your take on it and all that stuff like that as well. We get more into it, but most definitely, man. Like I said, we're gonna rock on from there. All right, so man, that's it, man. I've been your host, Trader Fit Artist of Sculpt and Create, and my guest, CYD Tone.
Yes,
we
sir.
out here.
Out. Appreciate it, man.
All right, boss. Appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to the show wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. If you're looking for fitness coaching to help you reach your goals, want to join our animated network for fitness guidance, collaborations, networking, and community, or are interested in being a guest on the show, check out the links in the description. Stay creative, stay fit, and we'll holler at you next time.